So Uniquify has been improved to support even more cases than previous. So starting out with the cube, we'll just tab into edit mode, grab one edge, and control click mark in order to bevel an edge. And we'll just mirror that to both sides by holding shift on the first mirror and then clicking it to complete it on the second one. So with this shape, I'm just going to shift click smart apply to make a unique duplicate of this applied mesh in order to grab just those faces. From here we can solidify and just cut them into this mesh, allowing it to remain non-destructive. The next thing from here is using box cutter, we'll just jump off of this point in the center and press VV to perform a radial array, and we'll just get it to radial array in a way that respects the mirror, and shift to live. I'll jump off of this point except with a circle, and we'll just bring it down and bevel and roll it in. So far so good. And once we sharpen it, we need to roll down the auto smooth to get it to shade just right. And the next thing from here is to shift A, add a plane, and we could just solidify it, select both of them, perform a difference. But I'll use F9 to change it over to a fast, and we'll just duplicate it and place it down as well. And with box cutter up, we'll just switch back over to box, and we'll just draw a box, but we'll press W to turn it into a wedge. Lower to auto smooth a little bit more. We'll do the same thing here. And to fix this shading line, we don't actually need to have that edge marked. Old habits die hard. So we're just creating this very simple box just to warm up and talk about Uniquify. So this is a decent enough asset to talk about Uniquify. As you know, I went through and basically took this cube, modified it heavily, and added all of these modifiers. If we were to shift click ever scroll, we could scroll through the modifiers of it and just repeat the process we just went through. Or we could just general click on ever scroll in order to just go through the cutters themselves without replaying the modifier stack. However, in this case, what we want to do is duplicate this mesh. So if I were to press Shift D, we see that the mesh loses its information as we move it away from the center point. And this is just a part of Blender. So what we sought to do was make Uniquify able to basically allow shift clicking to duplicate both the mesh and the associated cutters, plus the associated empties, plus anything associated with the object parameters of the object, to allow you to freely move it as you see me have done here. That almost didn't make sense. So let's press Q. We can scroll back until we locate this piece. We'll jump into array, just roll down the amount of arraying happening to get something a little more unique. Let's also bring back this shape. We'll just scale it in. We'll use the hops dots in order to bring back the planes. And so with our planes, we can just select this face and just scale them. Actually, these are solidified. So for solidification, we could press 1 to push it on this side, which is what we want to do. But we want to grab this one and press Alt N in order to flip the normal. So now we're pushing it both inwards towards the center. So now we've took this, duplicated, made it live duplicated version that's unique. And the best part is everything's parented, so we can grab this, move it around, rotate it. But I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend probably a collection instance instead of moving around something that has a bunch of live modifiers associated with it. But to duplicate again, we'll go under operations and just shift click Uniquify and move it over. And here we have another unique duplicate of the previous model that we're just having selected. So with it selected, we can go through ever scroll, bring up this thing, and we'll just roll even more until the mirror takes it and looks nice with it. And recall even more cutters and just begin making unique changes. So if we bring up box cutter, we can press Shift V and bring up the BC transformer, which this thing is not even supposed to be showing where it is. That's a mystery for after this video. But we'll just take this cutter, place it in there as well, and we see that it's also parented. And so that's the purpose of Uniquify, is to make a live version of a mesh that currently has a bunch of associated modifiers. And so to take it even a step further, we could press Q, go under Add Modifiers, use Displace, and press X in order to displace it on the X, and then press Alt X to mirror, and this time we'll mirror it on the Z, except we don't want to mirror it with the same mirror that we have previously. We want to press A and add a mirror. So now we're arraying it, doing everything that we're doing to it, and then displacing it, and then mirroring it to the other side. So it sounds complicated, but when you think like a modifier, it kind of makes sense, especially at 4 o'clock in the morning. But just like that, we're able to take this model, turn it into something quite different, and duplicate that, turn it into something even more different, and even displace it and mirror it to turn it into, you know, a classic beveled box.